Autumn Spot Week 2025, Day 4.
Okay. What are you looking at?
It's in a little chat.
Right.
He's copied some tag.
Yeah.
One of the other tags is big, and a tag is, I saw in a YouTube comment that the actor who played Adam in The Way to Eden has a massive schlong, which means it must be true, and size Queen Spock. I don't know if that's something that we're going to be reading, but...
I doubt it. That sounds like it's not going to be in the PG-13 where we like to keep things usually, but who knows?
One never knows. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Joy of Trek. I'm Kaki.
I'm Kay.
And today we're going to be reading you another story selected by our chief engineer from the Intergalactic Treasure Archive of Our Own.
Yes, the name of the story is Flowers Are Insufficient by isloremipsumafterall, which is an orphan account, apparently.
Okay. _account. I mean, there are so many like traditions and code on Archive of Our Own, some of which that have been inherited from other sites that we don't know. So I don't know what orphan account means in this context.
So it is the creator chose not to use archive warnings. The relationship is Janeway 7 of 9.
Oh.
And it was published in 2015. Summary. Perhaps you have overlooked something, Captain, 7 finally said, and Janeway tilted her head, leading 7 to go on. It may be that you have a secret admirer. I have heard that flowers are a good indication as such, and often appreciated by the person receiving them. Is this true?
Ooh. Janeway and 7.
Ooh.
So let me see. Is there any indication where it takes place?
I guess, this sounds like a bit like 7 is trying to get dating advice from the captain as how to date the captain. Which is, sounds like a 7-ish way to say.
Yeah.
Sounds like a 7 thing.
Kidnap someone, reveal to me your secrets for romance. The flowers on her desk were new, and if she had to hazard a guess, not replicated, since they looked like the species that had grown on a planet they had just visited earlier that day. Ooh.
Pretty as they were, and doubtful of any malicious intent, but it was always good to be wary as the captain. It still begged the question of who was leaving them.
So secret admirer. Janeway comes in to find
fresh flowers, yes.
In the captain's quarters, so someone can just enter the captain's quarters and not be logged, and this is okay. We're okay with this?
It's probably logged, but she doesn't go straight forward. And I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Good OPSEC there.
I mean, yes, and even then, what would you do? I mean, probably ask Chakotay to go through the logs.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, you can do that.
I mean, we know that Chakotay always get the nasty jobs when it comes to that, like digging through people's personal messages and holodeck logs. So, we know that Chakotay always gets a short stick on that one.
Yeah, I mean, does he maybe like it? Is he maybe nasty? No, if you want to give it to someone who liked it, then you could give it to Neelix.
Yes.
He'd be delighted.
And then the rest of the ship would know within 10 minutes.
Okay, pretty as they were, and doubtful of any malicious intent, but it was always... Oh, yes. Who was leaving? She idly granted access to whomever was at the door when it chimed, the flowers taking most of her attention still, and Chakotay stepped in a second later, stopping short and looking at the flowers curiously.
I take it this means they weren't from you? Janeway raised an eyebrow at him.
Chakotay shook his head.
Don't suppose you saw someone else step in my ready room the last few hours? She couldn't help but want to find out who'd left them there. A mystery on her own ship that for once didn't seem life-threatening.
Ooh, must be nice.
Yeah.
Chakotay looked thoughtful for a second, no doubt thinking back to his shift on the bridge, but then shrugged. Sorry, Captain. Maybe they were beamed in by a secret admirer.
Now, there's an idea. She stepped around her desk and sat in her chair, swinging the computer towards her to try to look up some transporter logs.
Before you get into that thought, care to take a look at some maintenance details first? Chakotay sounded amused, grinning when she looked up.
Yes, fine, Janeway sighed. This little mystery will just have to wait.
She glanced over at the flowers one last time before returning her attention to the pads Chakotay had brought in.
Bibbly, bibbly, bibbly. The flowers were on her mind even when she left her office to go to the bridge, quietly watching her staff for any hints it might have been from one of them, and worried it might have been.
Yeah. Who do you think she's most worried about? The flowers being from?
What's that helmsman name again?
Tom?
No, wait, sorry, I'm thinking of, I was thinking of Enterprise there.
Oh!
Yeah. Never mind.
Erica Ortega?
No, Enterprise. The helmsman.
Oh, Enterprise.
But yes,
Travis Mayweather.
That's, Travis isn't the helmsman, Travis is the,
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he's the pilot, isn't he?
Is he? No, the other
You're
guy.
thinking of security, Malcolm Reed.
No, he's not one of the main characters, like the guy who gets like almost...
Star Trek Enterprise?
Yeah. Enterprise. The one who almost gets dissected by Phlox when everybody gets hyper-obsessed with their...
Oh, I don't know that he's a recurring character.
Yes.
Who? Wait, no, hold on. You're inventing entirely new recurring characters that I don't know. This is fascinating.
I mean, I thought he was recurring. Anyway.
She sighed internally. Sorry, that threw me for a loop. How do you sigh internally?
Mentally? I don't know.
No, which valve in your body does the sighing?
Good point.
Is it sort of like, is she croaking? Is she inflating her throat sac as a threatening display? Is she preparing to blow a bagpipe? Okay, so she sighed internally. There was always a possibility Neelix had left them there to help cheer up the staff. Maybe she could take a tour around the ship. Maybe if she took a tour around the ship, she'd find them everywhere.
It at least gave her an idea to try something.
Chakotay, you have the bridge. I'm going down to astrometrics.
As she walked down there, she wondered if Seven might have some interest in the mystery of it, or at least an idea for it. Briefly, she thought of the ex-drone leaving the flowers for her and quickly pushed that aside as idle fantasy.
Ooh. She stopped by the lunch hall to briefly grill Neelix in regards to the flowers, who had no idea who might have left them on her desk, but several in ways to use them in salad.
Thinking she'd skipped the mess hall lunch that day, she made her way further down to the astrometrics where Seven was, stepping in and making Seven turn from where she stood at the console to greet her.
Captain, I was unaware you'd be coming here. Was there something you needed? Seven was nothing if not the picture of professionalism, her hands locked behind her back, and watching Janeway take a slow turn around the room.
At ease, Seven. I'm here for more personal reasons than anything else.
Oh, are you in need of companionship? For a brief moment, Janeway thought she saw something akin to amusement in Seven's eyes that could almost constitute as flirting, but she quickly looked away, glancing around the room once more.
I wouldn't say no to it, Janeway quickly continued, not letting herself dwell too much on how that sounded back. Someone left flowers on my desk this morning. I was curious if they'd been left around the ship. I haven't seen them anywhere else. Seems to me like a mystery I could use help solving.
Seven looked thoughtful, pursing her lips and furrowing her brow in a manner that made Janeway want to reach out and smooth any wandering thoughts from her mind.
Perhaps you have overlooked something, Captain, Seven finally said, and Janeway tilted her head, leaving Seven to go on. It may be that you have a secret admirer. I've heard that flowers are a good indication as such, and often appreciated by the person receiving them. Is this true?
That did occur to me, actually. She neglected to mention that she'd thought of Seven, then. Still makes them a mystery.
Then you would prefer knowing their identity rather than... Seven paused, clearly looking to quote something. Let it be a surprise?
I'm more hoping I won't have to put some poor ensign down. There's only so many places on the ship to avoid a lovesick officer. Janeway sighed.
Though she knew most of her crew and was willing to bet that none harbored serious feelings beyond friendship to her, it was always possible someone's feelings had shifted.
Would you not wish to give them a chance? Seven somehow held her shoulders higher, looking tight and worried and leaving Janeway confused.
It isn't proper, Seven. I'm the captain.
And do you not feel you are as welcome to have personal relationships as you encourage the rest of the crew to?
Not with an ensign. Janeway was beginning to get a headache, dropping her head to her hand to rub at her forehead and wishing she had a cup of coffee before she had left to tide her over, at least.
Then it is a matter of rank. It was clear that Seven wasn't going to let this go. You would not have that issue with someone who is not a member of Starfleet.
I suppose I wouldn't.
Ooh.
She didn't see Seven relax slightly after that. But if someone on the ship, then I don't see how that's possible.
She heard Seven shift slightly and walk over to something. The familiar sound of a computer interface being interacted with catching her attention, and she wondered if Seven had decided the conversation was finished after all, before a tantalizingly familiar smell filled the air, and a cup of coffee was held in front of her.
Thank you, Seven, she smiled, taking the coffee from Seven's hands and gratefully taking a sip.
You are welcome. Seven resumed her stance, though she looked slightly agitated. Captain, you did not answer my question. Are flowers not usually appreciated by the person receiving them?
Well, Janeway took another sip. They're thoughtful and lovely for a secret admirer. It would certainly be a start.
But there is something else you would prefer if you were to be courting?
That made Janeway laugh, throwing her head back and nearly spilling her coffee.
I have said something humorous. Seven raised an eyebrow coolly.
No, Seven. Well, it's nothing like that. I'm not much for one to be wooed. I just need a cup of coffee and some decent conversation with whomever I'm dating. For a second she thought of Mark and years before back home. She'd moved on as he had, but there was a certain loneliness still in missing their old talks and just having someone there.
Seven stepped back towards the console and began tapping at it, drawing up a map of constellations.
Would you like to see what I've been working on, Captain? Seven glanced behind her, probably unaware how welcoming that was.
Janeway blinked, a bit surprised at the sudden shift in topics, but nodded anyway, stepping close to Seven and letting herself get drawn into the ways that Seven had adapted the system to increase scanning planets.
Right.
To increase scanning planets. Ooh.
When she got back to her quarters that night, there was a bundle of roses on her bed and a pad on famous, incomplete mathematical formulas.
All that was missing was the coffee and companionship to talk about the formulas too.
She shook her head, walking over to the replicator to fix one of those issues when her doors chimed.
Come in. She straightened herself up, ready to deal with any ship issues that might have come up in whomever was delivering the news when Seven walked through the door.
Seven, she greeted her with a smile. To what do I owe this honor?
She'd parted ways a few hours ago when she'd had to go back to the bridge to deal with a course change.
I was thinking about what you had said earlier, Catherine.
Ooh.
It had been a long process to get Seven to use her first name while off duty, but it was worth it.
About what? Would you like something to drink, Seven? I was just about to order myself some coffee.
I'm sufficient at this time, Seven replied.
Hell yeah, you are.
Continued on as Janeway ordered her coffee. I am referring to you wanting to know the identity of the person leaving you flowers.
Ah, them. She nodded towards her bed. They struck again.
Yes, Seven agreed, shifting slightly and looking for all intents nervous. I did.
Ooh, oh, even the pod kitty chimes in there with a little mule of surprise. Yeah, you saw it coming, didn't you? It took her a moment to catch up. Just about to take a sip of her coffee and freezing with her lips just touching the rim of the cup.
Seven? Her throat felt very dry all of a sudden, licking her lips and catching Seven watching the movement.
I believe it is clear I am the one leaving these flowers for you. I had plans for more, but given our conversation today, it seemed like the best option was to tell you as the flowers were insufficient.
Their conversation from before sped through her mind, Seven dropping the topic once she'd brought up coffee, and the good talk suddenly became obvious.
She opened her mouth to speak, lowering her cup, but Seven cut her off.
I wish to point out that I am not a member of Starfleet. I therefore have no rank for you to worry about.
She had to chuckle at that. I suppose you aren't.
I am also proficient at talking about topics that interest the both of us.
I don't need a resume, Seven.
Does that mean you are open to this? Anyone else might have missed the waver in Seven's voice, but Janeway caught it.
Yes. She couldn't lie, not with Seven staring at her with hope, not when she had felt that hope and affection just as much.
She crossed the gap between them, settling her coffee cup down on the table as she did, and stood in front of Seven, reaching out to rest her hand on Seven's cheek.
For the record, however, the flowers are sufficient too. It was nice just to stand there, enjoying each other's presence, a piece of something she'd thought she'd lost settling within herself, making her smile.
Seven's hand rested on her hips, echoing Janeway's smile with a small one of her own. I will keep that in mind.
Please do. Oh, that's adorable.
That's a sweet little... Yeah, so, written by isloremipsumafterall.
Thank you so much. Oh, that was lovely. Thank you for selecting this, Chief, and we hope you'll join us again next week as we recap a new episode of Star Trek, which I'm sure the Chief will tell you about which one it is.
Yes, I think that leaves us only with one more thing to do.
I'm leaving Starfleet.
Energize!
We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode with your friends Kay and Kaki, production, editing by our chief engineer Greg, and music by Fox Amore. Join us next week for Cause and Effect TNG 518. Visit joyoftrek.com/links to send us recommendations, support us on Patreon, or to find us on Blue Sky. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to The Joy of Trek, and we'll see you out there.